Hello and welcome back. If you haven't already, please take a look at part 1 on how to get started with Linux using Windows 10. Alright, let's take a look at part 2 of this. Let's go ahead and fire up VLC. I recorded this some time ago. Now what I've done here, in part 1 I show you how to create a bootable Linux USB stick using Windows 10. What I have here is an older ThinkPad T60. Now this had originally Windows XP. And believe it or not, this sucker still works. ThinkPads are awesome. By the way, all the links will be below in the show notes. So, this has Linux Mint. Nothing wrong with Linux Mint. And the reason why I will be erasing Linux Mint is to show you how to fully erase an operating system, whatever that is, and to install my favorite Linux-based system called, of course, Ubuntu Mate. So I have already plugged in my USB stick in my ThinkPad here, so I will restart. Now I want to boot from the USB stick. Now my ThinkPad, on the top left of the keypad, there's a ThinkVantage button which I press, and that will allow me to bring up a what's called a startup interrupt menu, a boot menu, and I want to boot from the USB stick. In this case, it's number 6. Now, if you don't have a ThinkPad, that's okay. You can do this with just about any computer. It will vary depending what computer you have on how to get into the BIOS to boot from a USB stick. You might have to press Escape, F2, Delete. It varies. Check the vendor's website. Alright, so you may have noticed that I I clicked Default to install. To start the install process for Ubuntu Mate. Again, I'm running this off the live USB bootable stick. Alright, so I want to install it, and in this case it's Ubuntu Mate 32-bit because this particular ThinkPad is a 32-bit. You cannot install a 64-bit OS onto a 32-bit. You can install 32-bit system on a 32-bit computer or a 64-bit computer. So we will install Ubuntu Mate 18.4.3. Alright, so this is the welcome screen. Now normally I would have my computer, my ThinkPad already hooked up to the internet. Since this is just a test, I don't, but you should. And the reason for that is you want to download the updates while it is installing. Alright, so my keyboard, of course, is English. This is where I would normally go into my wireless settings. I want a normal installation, and yes, you would normally click download updates while installing Ubuntu Mate, and also third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Normally that would be clicked also to save time during the installation process. So my options here, do I want to install Mate alongside Linux Mint? No, I just want to install Ubuntu Mate, erase disk, and install the whole thing. Now keep in mind, this will erase your disk, so make sure you've backed up any important files and folders and all that good stuff. Warning, write changes to the disk. Yes, I do want to do that. Alright, so New York time zone, of course. Of course, we drink a lot of coffee. Alright, so again, this is just a test, so you can type in any name that you wish. So I just typed in ZZZ. ZZZ, pick username, password. I'm just going to keep this simple. Again, this is just a test, so I typed in 4 digits, and as you can see, it warns me, hey, short password. I know, but it's just a test. So confirm the password. And yes, it is confirmed. Require my password to log in is what I usually leave clicked. And that's it. You wait. When this is done, it'll prompt you with a pop-up that says you can continue testing or reboot to enjoy your Ubuntu Mate. That's all there is to this. So if you are running Windows 7, you need to stop immediately and try something else. If you are running Windows 10 and are curious about Linux, try a Linux-friendly based operating system. A lot has changed Since I first started with Linux since 2006, there are many decent choices out there. So if you are a newbie to all this, don't panic. It's a lot easier now than it was years ago. All right, well, that's all I have for this one. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, of course, post them in the comments section below. Reminder, the next Linux A-Team is scheduled for February 28th. Join us and support the channel. Adios.